The unstoppable rise of China's electric car industry. In recent decades, China has grown from an emerging player to become the world's largest car exporter, manufacturing electric cars that sell domestically at prices starting at $10,000. Below, we reveal how the Chinese auto industry has grown to a dominant position and discuss its implications for the global market, especially the United States. Based on interviews conducted by CNBC with several experts, including Michael Dunne, CEO of Dunne Insights, and Bill Russo, former Chrysler executive, we reveal the dynamics and challenges at play in an industry that is particularly competitive between the two world powers today.
An automotive giant wakes up.
About 40 years ago, the Chinese automotive industry was virtually non-existent. Today, the country makes enough cars to power half the world. Michael Dunne, CEO of Dunne Insights, describes this transformation as that of the Great Godzilla, an industry on a scale never before seen. According to Dunne, this giant machine is just getting started and has its eyes set on the United States. China has the capacity to manufacture half of the world's cars, 4 times more than the United States typically produces. Annual demand within the country is about 25 million units. That leaves 15 million cars to export, almost as many as the United States can sell in a good year, an astonishing capacity. In 2023, China shipped 5 million cars to more than 100 countries, establishing itself as one of the world's largest exporters. Chinese cars are present in virtually every market except the United States and Canada. A combination of favorable policies and a booming economy has fueled this growth. China welcomed foreign automakers starting in the 1980s, allowing them to sell cars as long as they partnered with a local manufacturer. Companies like Geely, which bought Volvo cars from Ford, and BYD, which received $3.7 billion in subsidies between 2018 and 2022, exemplify this approach. It is a form of state capitalism, where the goal is to build a world-class auto industry. The quality of Chinese cars has also improved significantly. 15 years ago, the vehicles presented at the Detroit Auto Show were not competitive. Today, Chinese cars compete in terms of quality and attention to detail. The Chinese have had tremendous success in developing new business models based on software and services. Many of the newcomers have backgrounds in technology, electronics, and mobile device markets. It's a transformation similar to what happened with the iPhone in the mobile device market. American consumers' receptivity to Chinese cars is high. According to a recent survey, nearly half of respondents are familiar with Chinese vehicle brands, and 76% of those under the age of 40 would consider purchasing a vehicle from a Chinese brand.
The tariff tool.
Tariffs have been a popular political tool in the United States, especially under the Trump and Biden administrations. Since 2018, tariffs have increased significantly, affecting both vehicles and the materials used in their manufacture. In 2024, the Biden administration will increase tariffs on electric vehicles from 25% to 100%. The tariffs are intended to counter China's extensive subsidies and market practices, which have led to risks of overcapacity. However, many believe the tariffs may not be effective in the long term and may cause more harm than good. The industry's response to the tariffs is mixed. While some labor leaders and trade associations support them, others, such as Tesla CEO Elon Musk, criticize the measures. The Trump-era trade war raised the costs of many parts that American automakers sourced from China. This cost GM and Ford an additional $1 billion in steel and aluminum costs in 2018. It also likely accelerated the globalization of Chinese companies seeking to circumvent trade rules by making investments outside their own borders. Chinese companies are building factories in Mexico, Africa, the Middle East, Europe, and Southeast Asia, seeking to decarbonize their supply chains and secure their global presence.
Alternatives and strategies.
To compete effectively against Chinese brands, the United States would need to consider more innovative and cooperative alternatives rather than relying solely on tariffs. Michael Dunne suggests adopting an approach similar to the one China used 30 years ago. We could say welcome to the United States. But to sell here, you have to manufacture here and form a joint venture with an American company. This would be a game changer and allow the United States to benefit from the DNA that Chinese companies have created. Today, more than 100 Chinese-owned auto companies have a presence in the United States, concentrated in Detroit and Silicon Valley. Although we don't see Chinese cars on American roads, these companies are preparing for the right time to enter the market.
The transformation of the Chinese automotive industry.
The success of the Chinese automotive industry cannot be understood without examining its strategies in technology and electric mobility. Companies such as BYD and NIO have led the shift towards electric vehicles, EVs. Massive investment in research and development, combined with government support, has allowed these companies to compete globally. BYD, which started out as a battery manufacturer, has diversified its offering to include electric buses, trucks, and passenger vehicles. The company has achieved unique vertical integration, producing its own batteries and vehicles, giving it a significant competitive advantage. NIO, on the other hand, has focused on customer experience, offering innovative services such as battery swapping and a fast-charging network. This approach has allowed NIO to differentiate itself in a saturated market and build a loyal customer base.
Impact on the global market.
The rise of the Chinese automotive industry has had significant repercussions on the global market. Traditional car makers in Europe, Japan, and the United States are facing increasing competition not only in terms of price, but also technology and quality. The pressure to reduce carbon emissions and transition to electric mobility has forced these manufacturers to accelerate their own investments in electric cars. Companies such as Volkswagen and General Motors have announced ambitious plans to electrify their fleets in the coming years in an attempt to stay competitive.
Challenges and opportunities.
Despite its success, the Chinese automotive industry faces several challenges. Overcapacity is one of the main problems, as production far exceeds domestic demand. This has led to fierce competition and tight profit margins. Furthermore, the reliance on exports makes the industry vulnerable to fluctuations in the global market and trade policies. The recent pandemic and trade tensions with the United States have highlighted the need to diversify markets and supply chains. However, these challenges also present opportunities. The growing demand for electric vehicles around the world offers a vast and expanding market. China's ability to produce electric cars on a large scale and at competitive prices gives it a significant advantage in this segment.
What may happen in the future?
Looking ahead, the Chinese automotive industry is well positioned to maintain its global leadership. Continued investment in technology, especially in artificial intelligence and autonomous driving, will continue to drive innovation and competitiveness. The Chinese government is also playing a crucial role in promoting policies that support electric car adoption and sustainability. Subsidies for EV purchases, expansion of charging infrastructure, and strict emissions regulations are creating a favorable environment for the industry to grow. The key takeaway from all this is that the rise of the Chinese auto industry is a complex phenomenon driven by a combination of strategic government policies, massive investments in technology, and impressive production capacity. As Chinese automakers continue to expand globally, competition will intensify, benefiting consumers with more choice and better products. Collaboration and adaptation will be key for automakers in the United States and elsewhere to compete effectively in this new global landscape. As the automotive industry evolves, it is essential that all stakeholders work together to create a more sustainable and dynamic automotive market. The dominance of Chinese electric cars in the global market is impressive, but there is another crucial war being waged right now in an even more important industry for the coming years. In the video we show you on screen, you can discover how Mexico is emerging as a key player in the microchip war, allying itself with an unexpected partner. Watch the video and learn about the details of this alliance that could change the global technological landscape.